tell my friends stand by me only if I'm right. I come out of triple darkness just to see the light. If I say it once, I guarantee I say it twice. If they want me, I ain't going out without a fight. In my dreams, I'm a killer, but for God, man. Try to play it cool, but it's getting hard, man. Rolling with the real and death to all the frauds, man. Not too many on me, yeah, it's kinda hard, man. In my room, sitting in my room. Know they waiting on me and I'm coming soon. Never been a sellout, never been a coon. Y'all be on the camera acting, I'ma show them how I true.
That's a nice speaker system. That's a nice stereo. I said, would you give him that stereo? Your boyfriend? She was like, what? I said, would you give him that stereo? She said, nah. I said, well, would you give him that chain on your necklace? She was like, nah, why would I do that? And I said, so why would you give him your body?
Mm-hmm.
You know, do you value those things more than your body?
Back again, brothers.
What up, though? What's good?
Peace to him, crew. What's up, everybody tuning in? We are at the Code-Based Co-working Facility in Charlottesville, Virginia. Code-Based Co-working, a very awesome place to do your very best work. We're grateful. We love this place, right, fellas? Like, glad to be back after I filmed a few episodes down in ATL at Win Productions, right?
Yes, sir. Shout out to Win
that
Productions.
was, Win Production. That turned out really nice, man. And nice to see Brother Studio growing as it should. Today is when we started, y'all, we on like episode 47 or something.
Thank
now,
you guys for tuning in. Thank you for watching the show. Please hit the subscribe button. We're forever grateful for even just opening it up and hitting the tap.
And we need feedback too, because y'all don't like one of us. Just tell us. We don't mind. Y'all can go and hurt our feelings.
Who's not gonna like me?
Hey,
oh my goodness.
Come on.
That's true.
Who not gonna like
That's
me?
very true.
The mayor always got some
ambassador, the world's ambassador.
And I don't mind at home. They say he need to shut up, so I don't even mind. I've been told that
now
my whole life.
Now they will say that.
I've been told that my whole life.
They think they know every daggone thing.
Uncle Mike tell me shut up every day.
Right.
Every week.
He think he know everything.
Hey, but look, this topic, man, we talked about my field of endeavor being education. The topic that we got is an experience that I had as an administrator where in DC, when I became a principal, I got an email. Said, you'll be getting your allotment of male and female condoms for students, and they have to be displayed out in the open and not just in a bathroom or something for everyone to see them. It was like pretty much a practice throughout the whole District of Columbia. And so my question is, number one, condoms aren't free. Male or female condoms aren't free. That was the first time I even found out about or knew that there was a female condom, right? That's a whole nother conversation.
A female condom, oh my gosh.
But you didn't know
Hey, James still don't know about one.
Okay, look it up. You always looking up definitions.
Right.
You don't want that on your search history. Hey, but
so how long have they been out there?
I mean, James is very interested in female condoms.
I'm gonna tell you from my experience.
Okay.
When my friend was a part of Upward Bound, they had a situation where when they was talking about it, and they actually had somebody come and show it and talk to us. Now I wasn't part of the program. My buddy was. But they thought I was part of the program because I was always there.
Okay.
And
we was one of them.
And this was back.
So this was 1990.
I know I didn't know about it back then.
I would say in the 80s. Seriously.
Oh, wow.
What, for the female
Late
joints?
80s?
Yeah. That's when I was introduced to it.
Man, we sound ignorant as hell.
Oh my God.
We got to be.
Hey,
I don't
man.
know nothing about no female condom.
Hey, look, hold on. I'm gonna get the official thing because just so everybody know I'm not making it up.
But we done digress. You done lost your story.
No, it's not. I'm good. I'm good with it because it's a good conversation because the point is awareness.
That's the point, right?
Right. Yeah. So
you know what I'm saying?
So we don't have.
But if I'm not mistaken, and somebody can correct me, I don't have a signal. I tried to look it up just now. But if I'm not mistaken, it protects the oral sex piece as it relates to the female.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So So someone can.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. All right.
You don't have to get more graph. Need me to draw a picture.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm sorry. I need to see something. I gotta see something. This is just baffling to me.
Don't worry about it.
Okay,
I'll
check into it
While
later.
you look it up, the rest of the story is, I was like shocked that number one, there was a policy that said that I had to, by law or policy or whatever, dictate, mandate, make this happen. And it had to be out in the open, and parents didn't have to consent, and none of the other things. So my question was, the amount of the investment in that, I don't know, because it was citywide in DC.
Okay.
I was at a charter school, but it was also for the public schools. So the question is, was there an equivalent investment in the education about abstinence? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
And then it made me say, well, have we given up on teaching abstinence and just say, you know what, they're going to do it anyway? Just go ahead and give them the condoms, and that'll be best, because at least they won't have babies. So abstinence or not, like, is that still a valid thing, important thing to teach? What was our experience with it with our children, and what are our thoughts about, or guidance, or just ideas for other parents, and how we approach that conversation in a very sexualized society?
Who want to go first? John, you want to go
That's
first? You always talk about setting expectations.
Hey,
this was a good expectation.
Well, the first thing again, after my initial thought, I always try to go with my initial thought when I hear the introduction, right? And when we talk about public policy, but what's practiced or preached in our own privacy of our home.
Okay.
They're not always the same thing.
For sure.
And
for
especially what's happening today as far as sex ed. I remember when we were coming up, it was like the middle school, right? You got to get that permission form. Whereas today, elementary children, from what I'm hearing, is saying choosing their sex or choosing their identity. So anyway, again, without sounding like a dinosaur, there's a whole lot of different variables that go.
Now hold on, but they did. Didn't they pass condoms around in class, or showed us in class, in health class?
Like showed us one to look at?
Yeah.
Back in middle school?
No, or high school.
I remember in 9th grade health.
Yeah.
They're
passing around genitals and
they
everything.
won't, but they're not giving them out.
Yeah,
they
were showing you what it was.
You could always go to the school health department or the
clinic.
Yeah, the clinic. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah. Get it.
Okay.
The school clinic.
Yeah.
I was getting ready to say, did we go to the same school? Because I didn't know you could go to the clinic.
Just the clinic. That's the clinic.
The band room, right?
Where Water
down in the band room.
told us about it.
I was going down there faking stomach aches to get out of class.
Yeah.
And he said health department, that trigger something whole. I never went to the doctor.
Oh no.
Lordy.
Well, this is why abstinence matters. If you ever had to go to the health department over a sexual situation, abstinence matters.
Shout out to Rosefield Drive.
I think we all made a trip over there once or twice.
No.
You ain't go, John?
I have to state publicly.
Okay.
No. But I'm not hating.
Wow,
I'm not judging
that was the spot that he knew to go get them joints. No, I was saying to go get them joints on just for free, right?
You can go over there and get free.
Or you can go get treatment.
You can go get treatment.
Well, no.
Well.
Hey, listen. Okay. For me and my household and my fellas, I do believe abstinence is the way. Now, abstinence until you get married. What's the ideal, right? And so that's what we try to preach that, because
you can put an age. Do you put an age on it?
No, you don't put an age on it, because just like we said, all of our children are different. Different is not deficient. All of them mature. Some mature faster than others. Some are ready for certain things. But we do know when we're intimate with someone of the opposite sex, we're giving a part of our soul and our spirit to them, and you can never get that back. And so that's a deeper meaning if you're just giving it away all the time.
This sounds beautiful.
So they got you all.
All right, listen.
Brother, that sounds beautiful.
Yeah, let me say that.
Giving your soul away. I mean, you're right.
Okay, in my house.
Okay.
All right. I from day one, my wife and I preach no sex until marriage. Okay. That was what was always preached, but at the same time, I had a reasonable expectation that probably would not happen, but I never gave off any vibe to them whatsoever that wouldn't happen. I always wanted them to think that this was the expectation I had for you, my wife and I had, and that we expect you to live up to the standard. That was what we was always portrayed. And my idea was, if I could just hold them out for as long as possible. You know what I mean? Like that was really my thought. Let me just see how long this value will stick and hold, and then whatever happens. What I did, one of the things, and we talked about this before. I told my sons when they were in middle school, I said, start saying now that you're a virgin, because when you can proclaim that, I believe that if you build a confidence in your young people, then they're not out here trying to engage in sexual activity because they're not trying to feed their ego.
So you use the Eminem strategy.
What's the
8
Eminem?
Mile.
I
do live in a trailer park. I do because you disarm the enemy.
You take it all away. You take it all away. And when you build strong, confident children, they can say, yeah, I'm a virgin. Yeah, I plan on holding out until I'm married.
Yeah. I would imagine if you said that to a group of
to my sons, when they got 17, 18, that actually put a target on them. It put a target on them. From the girls.
What?
Yeah, because now the girl that wants to be the one to get your virginity, because you done told everybody no. See, it's one thing if you say, I'm a virgin and you can't get none. It's another thing if you say I'm a virgin and you have plenty of opportunity to get some. Remember AC Green for the Lakers? Everybody was absolutely amazed that this dude is playing for the Los Angeles Lakers and he is a virgin.
And had one of the shiniest Jerry curls in the league.
Right. Everyone. Now see, the reason that was amazing is because we all understood the magnitude of his options. He had so many options being an NBA player. And the fact that he was able to stand on that and say, nah, I'm waiting for my wife was absolutely amazing. Same with Tim Tebow. We watched Tim Tebow do this at the University of Florida. He stood on that, and that's what made it impressive. Ain't nobody giving you no credit if you can't get none.
So you're talking about voluntary versus involuntary abstinence.
Correct.
So is there a problem for adult men in this country that's involuntary?
Well, that's a toxic masculinity that make our young boys feel like that's what they got to go do.
But hold on, let me ask you a question though. Right. When y'all said no sex, and of course I'm not. My question is, what was your motivation? Like when you said no sex, was it because from a religious perspective, God said, the Bible says you're not supposed, is fornication and adultery are wrong? Or were you, and well, I know some of it because I know you say, you and your brother like, yo, it'll ruin your life. Like, What was your reasoning? Because I think some of that has something to do with how this plays out.
Listen, and the word you use is value.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, in terms of us, obviously we know the good book sets the standard. All right. If you don't want to complicate your life, you might want to use this as a guide, right? Mm-hmm. That's the initial thought. Yeah. But what I was really, really thinking about was the social pressures that come along with it and the drama that come along with it. I told my boys, I'm like, you're gonna have all kinds of friends in high school. You're gonna have all kinds of friends. You're gonna have issues with dudes as soon as you start having girlfriends. And I told them, if you stay away from the girls, you will eliminate 95% of your problems in high school. Like straight up. 95% of your problems you will never have because you're not back and forth with women. What if somebody said to
you, but you're creating someone that might have unhealthy relationships? Like, let me ask you this. No, this is what I mean. Okay, abstinence got you. No, I'm a virgin, I don't do this. Yeah. But what about the relationship? Because that doesn't necessarily mean they can't have a girlfriend.
Absolutely.
But did it play out like that though?
No, I think Darius had girlfriends in high school.
Okay. And I just wonder how that plays out to, like, does that make a child then say, I don't even want to interact with females like that? You know what I mean? Because everybody their age, when they interact with females, is all about the chase. Not everybody. But,
most. You just want to, first of all, I also had the rule, you can't go out until you can take her out. Yeah. So we ain't even expecting no interactions.
We talking 10th grade right now.
Right, exactly. Yeah. We talking 10th, 11th grade. So that's the standard. So just, hey, listen, man, if you focus on your goals and your dreams and what you're trying to accomplish, then that shouldn't even be a part of the equation. Yeah. You can have a little girlfriend, y'all go to a movie or whatever when you're 17, 18, go to the prom, homecoming, all that stuff. That's cool. But all of the, hey, listen, when I start to think about my own personal life and the things that have complicated my life, it's all around that. It's all around trying to have a girlfriend, trying to date somebody, all of it. I ain't never smoked. I ain't never drank. I don't have none of those other issues. Those were the issues that I did have. So now, for my sons, I'm like, listen, I don't want you to have to go through
watch this. Then watch this. With that policy and that position, were you parenting the child you had or parenting the child that you wanted?
I was praying for the child I wanted.
Right. So, but what I was going to say is this was one where this is the exception to my policy because, or is that important like we were talking about?
This is exactly the point. Right? This is exactly the point. Because when Darius did lose his virginity, my ego won't in it. What are you doing? What kind of decision you making? You know,
was your ego happy that he got some?
No, it wasn't.
In a deep down way.
It wasn't. I was like,
you gonna say it in front of the camera?
He don't know what he in for now. You know what I mean? Like for real. That's what my ego was.
But John jokingly talk about the ego part of it. So as fathers, Talik, did you teach abstinence?
Absolutely.
What was your take?
So when my brother shared some of the stories and the experience, because his children was older than mine, right? Or my child, right? So what happened was I was like, man, I always wanted him to, I always wanted to teach abstinence, but I didn't know how I was going to approach the situation when it was going to come up. And I seen that not only he paved the way and shared these things with me, but I also like how I was able to be able to explain that and demonstrate those same things to my son. And, just so thankful and grateful that I knew how focused he was on his career. And I knew, like, for me, sex is a big distraction growing up, right? I was that dude that you felt like you had to prove a point, so forth, right? But at the same time, you understand, like, that I didn't know it was called peer pressure, right? But it was a level of peer pressure. But it ain't have to be peer pressure. It's probably more what I wanted anyway, right?
Your own pressure.
Yeah, my own blood pressure. Called blood pressure. Nah,
blood pressure.
Literally.
Nah, but
the most possible.
But so when I told my son, like, he want to be a journalist, right? Oh, he was so laser focused on what he wanted. And I knew if I told him, I said, look, son, if you extremely serious about all these things you telling me, then there's going to be, this going to be one of those things that's going to throw you off course with your vision, your business, etc. Because that's no longer going to be your motivation. It's going to be this new thing, which is sex. And my son, as far as I know, he's still a virgin, right? But at the same time, I know there's gonna come a time if you wait and have a wife and then has intercourse, then I'm gonna have to deal with that situation at that time.
What do you mean you have to deal with it?
I think he gonna come to me and he
I
might.
don't think it's
Not
too
at
late
like
now.
24.
I don't think so.
No, what I'm saying to you, there's gonna be some things that he gonna be dealing with, and he might not tell me all his personal business, but I think some things he might feel like he gonna have some challenges in that area.
I think you just gonna see him less.
You're gonna see him less. Stupid.
I think
just a small example of what you might be talking about.
I think you talking about him getting sprung.
If you married,
and dealing with
if you're married, you're supposed to be sprung.
Nah, you might not be able.
Yeah,
you might not know how to handle it when your spouse might come to you and say you can't have none today.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's a relationship scenario.
That is a violation of the scriptures.
And you want some. How do I handle
to her as a tilt?
I'm serious. How do I handle this?
You tilt as you.
You understand what I'm saying? I mean, is that a good?
Yeah.
It is. Because somebody got to help you think through
issues.
dealing with the relationship, that part of the relationship.
And it might go a long time before you're like, man, I ain't asking dad nothing like that.
I'm trying to think if my sons. Out
was
of
like,
everything they would ask me, I don't know if that would I don't know.
I'm just saying.
But it's different because he dealing with a son that's still on that track.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So if they done already moved past that and they sexually active.
And just because you're not active don't mean that you have conversations, right? Don't mean that you don't have discussions about things. Especially how can you not? You inundated with this every day in social media, on regular media, and even with porn, right? Porn is everywhere. You know what I mean? And so they can't help but see things. And so you don't want that to be their first and only lesson. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's why you got to have those discussions throughout. And going back to what you were saying too, all your problems come when you're chasing girls and that the other, right? Yeah. And we see so many guys that get up chasing those girls. Then once we get started, it's hard to put that genie back into the bottle. Right. Now it's on, and now everything we doing is trying.
Genie ain't in the bottle.
Yeah, Genie. Yeah, Genie ain't going back
about
in.
the Wiggle story, but okay.
Exactly. And so, hey, look, the old cat said that, hey, if you chase the ladies, you go broke. If you chase the money, you're always gonna have the ladies, right? And so, as simple as that. What we're trying to do is the transmutation of your sexual energy, especially as teenage men, right? And channel that and focusing on your academics, focusing on the athletic or your musical, whatever other pursuits that you're doing that's gonna have lifelong. That's gonna last forever, and then you can get your lady.
What if you don't have alpha dads like Joaquin, like Talik, like most of us are, right? What if you don't have a big, powerful force like that that you respect so much? I said all of us.
Oh, okay.
Y'all light skin. Alpha dads, light skin. I said all of us, right? I think I did. But
alpha man.
But what I'm saying is, and let me just take alpha because that got some connotation. I just mean a dad that has a big presence in your child's life that they respect, right?
Yeah.
If you're not, and you had that abstinence conversation, like Joaquin can say that, or I can say that, you could say that, and they be like, I'm probably gonna listen. But some kids need more than that. Because it's not like, and a lot of young people, when you say, hey, don't do that because the Bible said don't do that, you lost them. Yeah. And especially if they don't have a connection to the Bible like you do related to that thing.
Absolutely.
Right? And so to me, it's about the other stuff. Joaquin, you said it's the drama. So all those conversations to me is the ammunition parents need.
Yes.
It's like, and this is why we say it's because you're not emotionally ready. What does that mean? What that means is that some other guy's gonna get jealous of you and want to fight you over a girl, and you got other stuff to do, so you don't have time for that. What Correct. That means is you could possibly be in a situation where you went into somebody's home and their father came in and you're dealing with his daughter, and you could find yourself in a life or death situation. You could find yourself right now with all the plans you have with a child. You could hurt this young lady. You could do this. You could do that. So it's the logic behind the no that gives the child, to me, the sustainable information to help them continue to stay abstinent. Because there are biological pressures that we have to talk about. Because sex is a need like food, clothing, and shelter, biologically. And as you continue, as you mature, that need becomes more apparent to you physically and biologically. So you have to find a way and know that in order to manage that energy. You know what I'm saying? Or you can find yourself, man, what happened to him? When they say he Lamar Odom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He went to Vegas in the brothel and just, he exploded.
Yeah.
So.
The Boys to Men podcast, or B2M podcast, is about 5 guys who've been friends for over 40 years. Between the 5 of us, we've been married for over 100 combined years. Between the 5 of us, we have 13 children, 12 sons. We discuss in our podcast about our journeys into fatherhood and how we raised our sons to be fine young men. From 6-figure earners at LinkedIn to a professional Call of Duty player. College educated entrepreneurs, that's who we are. Our podcast is not a how to do it podcast. It is a podcast about how we did it. Come check us out.
Well, with K Moo,
Don't
my
name no
youngest,
names. Nah.
I figured he seemed to be, busy enough in high school with sports, band, academics, and whatnot. Although, yes, I did. I felt that, yes, okay, at some point, I know this is gonna happen, and so I just asked of him.
Did you preach abstinence though?
And I wouldn't say necessarily preach it.
Was that the expectation that you set?
Yes, definitely it was.
Okay.
And so my approach to him with regards to that was, son, look, do me this favor. Did I share this with y'all before? I'm not sure. I said,
oh, come to you.
no,
Oh.
I said, look, okay,
Oh, that was
at the point that you think that it's going to go down, if you're in a situation with a young lady or whatever, I want you to hit me up, give me a call, and say, Pop, it's about to go down.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Are you serious?
And I
At
said,
that moment, man, you breaking the
listen,
rhythm up.
not right at the moment, but if he's getting hints, the atmosphere that whatever, it's about to go
You
down.
using them like what's the cast that when you stay sober? What's the
coins? What the AA?
Accountability partner?
Yeah, accountability partner. Yeah,
First of all,
go down.
First of all, think about this.
You're going to stop him and coach you through it. I'm sorry.
Kind of, sort of, so.
If I got a lady, right? If I got a lady that's about to go there, the last dang gun image in my mind is my father.
Brother, I didn't say a lady that's about to go down, brother. I said that it's about to go down.
It's about to go down.
But so
Y'all acting like the man.
So
like, well, I'm be
funny enough, I got a call a few weeks ago, maybe about a month or so ago.
Oh wow!
And I was surprised because I was like,
You
I'm thinking,
forgot about it.
well, kind of, but I was like, I just hadn't imagined that he would actually go through with. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking this dude probably been doing his thing.
That was adolescent lessons.
Yeah. And then you tell his pops or nothing or what have you. But he gave me a call of about a month or so ago.
Oh wow!
Saying so, and I was like, okay. And
Hey,
the whole
James,
purpose of it was
his voice changed. Dad, it's about to go down.
it's about to go down. No,
that's the name of this episode.
Yeah.
It's about to go down.
And the whole purpose that I asked him to do it was for me to remind him and say, look, son, okay, look, there's a lot of responsibility that comes with this, with what you're about to do. And most of that is an emotional responsibility that, that's tied,
Make sure you warm that car up first.
But yeah, or majority of the female. And then, there's going to be a lot of emotional ties that you need to be prepared for.
Right.
As well as obviously, make sure you're using protection and what have you, this, that, and the third. And we kind of went through all of that, and I think it kind of worked because I don't believe anything went down because I did follow up with him maybe about a week or so afterwards, and he said it didn't, and he was like,
"Oh man, that's cool."
And
that's
super
you
cool.
know why
Let's
he
go,
didn't?
James.
huh?
You know why he didn't? Because he called you.
Exactly.
That was the purpose.
That was the
That
purpose.
was the purpose.
Hey, I think that's as much as we
save
was
him.
joking him initially
Accountability
about,
partner.
man,
Yeah,
you told him what?
Right.
That's
And
awesome.
then he down the road, that seed. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
That's
Exactly.
awesome, James.
It worked.
How'd you
but
feel?
Kudos, brother.
But now we gotta eliminate that pathology, so when he does have the right one, he don't think about calling dad every time.
No. The point is,
I just-
it worked.
when you marry, then you don't need to make that call.
Right.
That's the whole point.
Right.
It's like yesterday we was talking about
What if you
if-
get in the habit?
if
Like, I'm about to
young-
get some. Let me call dad.
if a young person wants
I
to
hope
do
not.
something, and when they get to that point of struggle, you're there to help
Yeah.
them push through. So that's exactly
And-
what that was
and you know
all
what?
over again.
He don't need to make the call again.
Right.
Because I already know what you want me to think through this, and this.
So now
So I don't
maybe
even need to
in
call
that
you.
moment, I might be able to self-correct.
Yeah.
And say, this is probably not
Yeah,
something I
yeah,
know
yeah,
my dad
yeah.
gonna tell me
That's
to think
awesome,
about,
man.
think about all these things.
I feel like with being around y'all and talking about this, I feel like I dropped the ball. And I'm not saying that my young people went out and was in some type of whoredom, man.
Yeah.
It was nothing like that. And
Sure.
I think it was
Then
only like
did you just take the assumption that they gonna do whatever they gonna do when it come to that?
I think I parented a lot based on what I was seeing. And so because I wasn't seeing the types of moves you trying to make to do that, you know what I'm saying? Like you in the phone all night giggling. I like all of those types of things. And so the stuff I was witnessing was kind of very innocuous, kind of innocent, right? And then
They were texting.
but
Right.
now, but that's true. But beyond that though, abstinence is might be number 10 on the stuff I was telling this. I mean, I'm saying like my standard was like you got to be a righteous young man, and it meant abstinence and all of that. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
right,
saying?
right,
Like we're
right,
trying
right,
to
right.
be
Right.
children of the Most High. So that's on the list of stuff that
Yeah,
and I
right.
didn't hone in on it, but I should have because I do believe you should wait until you married, and that didn't happen with my sons. You know what I'm saying? And I think I had a type of relationship with them that I could have been more of a impact with that.
Yeah.
And as much as I believe in it, I do regret that to some degree because that should have been something I stood on. And it wasn't that I was like, I hope they get some.
Yeah, right.
It just it happened. I'm too late.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I got
right.
the call and was like, yeah. I mean, it was like, I asked a question when I saw something. I've only was her parents said, no. I said, have you ever had sex before? Yeah. When? Like 2 months ago. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
So,
but you was close enough to recognize that it had most recently happened.
oh yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you
Right.
paying
Now-
that much attention.
Now, ironically though, now when to me young ladies are more available to young men than ever in terms of the ease of young men to get with them, I'm super impressed with them not succumbing to how easy it is just because they want something and they're willing to wait for the type of person they want to be with.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm super impressed with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm looking at them sometimes, I'm like, man, y'all some good guys.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you
Yeah,
understand what I'm
right.
saying?
Yeah,
Because
right.
I know they're likable young men, they're bright. You know what I'm saying? They got a lot of friends and all of that, but they just don't, that chase just isn't that important.
And I don't know if this helped, but I tried to let him know and describe that if he develops basically a friendship with the young lady, right?
Mhm.
With a young lady, and they have certain commonalities and things and interests that they share, and he gets to know absolutely as much as he can know of her, that is the last thing that he would want. You know what I'm saying? That would just kind of seal the relationship. You know what I mean? And then once you get to that level that you feel, yo, we have this as much of a platonic connection that the only thing left is just this to do. How much more beautiful that act is.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, that would be at the time of marriage, courtship, marriage, and so on and so forth. But how much more beautiful it would be.
The ignorant toxicity
Man, you know-
that we have in our community is real quick is this, though, is grown-ups telling people, you better try that out first and you better go live with them first and see how that's going to be. We have no faith in the goodness of the purity of the union, seeing to it in the universe, seeing to it that that's going to be all right.
And
you don't have to worry
and
about
for
that.
real, as I'm sitting here listening to us, I think people probably would never even think you could have this conversation with young people today.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just a foregone conclusion. They're just
Yeah.
going to do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
And so the fact that I would hope that this conversation would give people some hope that you can really have this conversation with your young people and you can really set that standard and don't think that they not going to listen.
Right.
You know, they really might take in what you're saying and hold out and hold off.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's a beautiful thing.
My question for the whole group is, it looked like everybody's basically on board to what the ideal is, what the standard should be, right?
Correct.
So let's talk long term and what's the pitfalls we avoiding.
Here's the first thing we avoided. All right?
Let's talk long term.
We ain't got none of our 12 sons with teenage fathers. None of them.
That's right.
We 12 for 12 when it comes to that.
That's true. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's a heck of a milestone.
Let's shout out to that, man. Yeah.
Like straight up.
Yeah.
That's a real milestone.
Yeah.
You know?
Especially out of 12 young men.
Yeah.
You know, like if you line up 12,
good, right?
you might be 3 of them got a child.
None of them have kids except Michael. He 34.
Yeah.
Right.
Like that's what we talking about.
34. How old are we?
Michael 34?
Michael,
you got never mind.
Michael.
You forgot. You got no.
Quiet.
We'll come back to that later.
He's 35.
He's 35.
Yes,
Michael 35.
Right.
Michael 35. Of our 12 sons, Michael is the only one. All right. So I think.
But he wasn't a teenager, right?
And he wasn't a teenager.
Right.
Right. And he wasn't a teenage father. So like that's a heck of a milestone for us as men to have accomplished that.
Yeah, that's true.
You know? Now, whether one or two of them still continue to wait until they get married, that remains to be seen. But I feel like when we think about the things that we avoided, that was number one that I really wanted to avoid.
Yeah.
I remember I said this to all my little cousins and everybody in the house. My grandma, Granny, shout out to Granny. She's 94 years old.
Granny, what's up, Granny?
All right, she's 94 years old. My Uncle Ed is her oldest son. He was born in 1949. She had a child living in her house from 1949 up until Miles left 4 years ago.
Dang.
4 years ago, up until 2019 when Miles went to college or whatever.
Right.
A kid. And so I always preach to all of them, all my little cousins, everybody, don't y'all bring no kids in here for grandma to raise.
Yeah.
I preach that all the time.
That was the abstinence.
And exactly. Don't y'all bring no kids in here for grandma to raise. Now that might have been keeping her alive, but keeping her young,
active,
But still,
yeah.
we gonna break that cycle.
Break the cycle.
We gonna break that cycle. Ain't gonna be no more teenage parents up in here no more.
Yeah.
And we did that. None of them were.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But that was now. How much I might have played into factoring in that, I don't know. But when you say a strong presence that says, "Hey, this is what we holding you to," that maybe I did serve that purpose.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know.
Yeah.
You know, I got a story, man, and shout out to my brother, Big Rodney. Me and Rodney, he watched the podcast.
Cool, Rodney.
Religiously, man. But me and him were at a bar once, and we just general conversation with the bartender. Yeah, we only been to a bar one time.
Y'all foolish.
We were in a general conversation with the bartender, right? And he had on his son's school paraphernalia because it was a game or something later, right?
Okay.
And so, oh, your son go to this? You know, those general conversations. Yeah, my daughter go here and there, here and there, here and there. And right now, you know, she got a child. You know, but she's a senior, but she got a child.
The bartender's daughter.
Yeah, it was something like that. And
Okay.
we were just talking. She was like, I was like, oh, okay. She still progress. She gonna make it out, all this and that. Yeah, it's a challenge. But then she just offered. When she was in it, I should have went on and did like my girlfriend did and put her on the pill when she got to high school.
Oh.
That's what she said.
And men don't clutch their pearl. I was like,
You still
whoa,
clutch they pearl.
you know what I mean? And of course, me being with my big mouth, I'm gonna gauge you. You said it.
Yeah, right.
You know,
right.
so I was like, you think that would have been a good strategy? She wouldn't have been pregnant. She was gonna do it anyway. You know what I'm saying? You can't stop these kids from doing nothing. We got a lot of that going on, bro.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? In our community,
That's
with
the
the moms
attitude.
just accepting with their sexually liberal views, right? That it's just gonna happen. It's better for me than, and I'm a single mom, and I can't handle no more kids in here. If she gonna do it, I'm gonna go ahead and put her on the pill. And I was like, do you think that's giving her the permission to go do it? Because she was like, I didn't say she was gonna have sex. I was gonna put her on the pill just in case. What's the impact of that? And like, what is that saying about our attitudes about sex with our young people and with our daughters? Like, I can't imagine as a father being okay with that. Like, here y'all go. She ready. I made it so that y'all can't get her pregnant. So here you go.
Yeah, that's awful.
I think it's like anything else in the society, in our what we call the microwave society. We want to fix everything with a pill because the hard way to do it is to teach values. That's the hard way to do it. You know, the easy way is just take a pill. You know, and it don't matter what it is. Everybody, you know, people don't want to eat better because, you know, just give me a pill, give me a weight loss pill, give me a whatever. Give me the surgery. That's just indicative of where our society is. And so the sexual component of it is no different. It never occurred to this mother that maybe you should have taught, because it ain't just pregnancy the only thing you got to worry about.
Right, STD.
You know what I mean? Her social and emotional development is something you have to concern yourself with. And so I think we fall short when we think we just worried about HIV or AIDS or, you know, STD, whatever it is, and pregnancy.
Yeah.
Nah, what about the social and emotional well-being of this young person? What complications is this daughter dealing with? She got a baby at 17 years old. Man, you know, one of the most fascinating statistics I have seen, it says, if you do these two things, you are literally destined for poverty. If you drop out of high school and have a child as a teenager, there's a 80% chance you will live your life in poverty.
Wow.
Those two things, dropping out of high school and having a child as a teenager, you starting a cycle, the rat race. You know, you're trying to take it. We know all the complications. So let's just try to start the social piece. We're trying to avoid some of these things.
Yeah.
You know, when you look back in your life and you have complications in your life, oftentimes it's decisions. You know, they say all the time, we born looking like our mother and father, we die looking like our decisions. So we gotta make sure whatever your life is, wherever it is, if you sitting at home at 17 years old and you got 2 babies, these some decisions that you making.
Do you think, I mean, number one, we have a society that is sexually charged, right? Sex is everywhere. Like on your phone, on TV. Like, again, back when we was growing up, if you wanted to see some flesh on TV, I'm talking about any flirting, it was Benny Hill show.
You stayed up till
11:30
watch Benny Hill.
And even when it got HBO
now,
and it was scrambled because you hadn't paid for the HBO, I could see the little naked.
Oh my God.
Remember that? I can see a little bit. I'm looking at a scramble too. I see a little bit of
I see it right there.
I see a little
but look, now you can wake up and pick your phone up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and if that algorithm shoot you something crazy, or you getting 34 reels in a row, somebody would think you was a just pervert, right?
Right.
But my point is, it's so readily out there, and the attitudes about it. Looking at I saw y'all know the new rapper Ice Spice?
Yes.
There's a female.
No,
there's a rapper named Ice Spice. She got red hair like Carrot Top almost, right, from New York.
Okay.
And I'm just disappointed in y'all not paying attention to current events. We not that old.
I might know the story. I might not know the
but
name.
anyway, she is now on stage with her whole backside out with no underwear or anything on this concert stage.
What you mean?
Well, thong. It was
Like
a thong. I
naked?
think she had a thong or something on.
She got on a skirt, but you can see her butt. I mean, her
Right.
butt is it's out.
Oh, I
mean,
did see that picture. I
Yeah.
didn't know who it was.
Yeah, that's Ice Spice.
So you saw it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who
she had a
did
red
it?
dress on
No.
or something,
I
I think.
You
think
really
it's-
saw it?
I think it's
Yeah, it
his
was
sister
crazy.
named Nikki D or something like that. Or Mickey B. She was a rapper in our era. She just there was a controversy in social media this week because she said with all the new female rappers, Sexy Red, all of it sexually charged. Just think about girls just telling you can do anything to me and I'm trying to do anything to you throughout the whole song. She calls this now the hottest, the most growing, popular trend in hip hop right now is the female rapper. Did y'all know that? Of
No.
course, I got a son trying to rap, but it is.
Yeah.
Sexy Red, Glorilla, Megan Thee Stallion,
okay.
Mulatto. These are these young girls and stuff are listening to, right? They calling it the prostitution era.
Ooh,
Of
of
hip-hop.
hip hop. Good God.
The prostitution era of hip hop, and everything is about Tariq back there laughing. graphic lyrics and say, I suck you up, down, you can do this to me, flip me over, then I'm gonna take your money and go to the next dude, and that's the culture, right?
And our son's supposed to find a wife out of all this.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. I told my sons, I feel sorry for y'all. I told them, y'all probably gonna need to leave the country. Listen, the values.
They mad at you now.
Who, my sons?
No, women.
The viewers.
No, I'm gonna fix it.
I'm
gonna fix it. I said it's so hard, unfortunately, for good young men and women to find the type of young men and women who are not poisoned by the compromised moral value, ethical system of America and can be in a relationship that's based on the purity of a love outside of our societal pressures.
You fixed it.
That's what I'm trying to say.
And it should go without saying, but he don't have an issue with lady rappers. It's the content which is coming out of the ladies rappers. It's not Queen Latifah. It's not MC Light.
Everybody know I ain't got no issue.
Yeah.
They know lady anything, president anything. But if I got an issue with them if they on stage and their tail out, and it's little girls that are 8, 9, 10 years old that get to see your TikTok and they doing TikToks and then they look at you and then they think that that's what they supposed to do. Right. I do got a problem with you about that.
Man, I seen a TikTok of a little girl. She was twerking and she had a pamper on.
Yeah, that's terrible, man.
Yeah.
Hey, that's
ridiculous. Come on, man.
Listen,
how you twerking in a pamper?
You know what point that makes
Come on, man.
In addition to the damn tragic parent and how sick it is, it shows you how sick our country is to allow social media platforms to allow stuff like that even to be seen.
Right, because they'll block you and flag you for saying.
Let me go say something about some white folks or something that I'm mad at.
Yeah.
You blocked, you flagged for inappropriate comments.
Right.
But you gonna let my little brown sister that's 2 years old twerk in the pamper.
Right.
Come on, man. And it's a lot of lawsuits and stuff going on right now about the mental health. They said, Zuckerberg, right?
Yeah.
For Facebook. He was in court. I think he had testified this week on Capitol Hill. Facebook getting sued because they ignored mental health data they had about young people.
Right.
And he had recommendations from his staff. Hey, don't do this. We seeing data that's showing it's affecting the little girls. And I'm not allegedly or whatever they said charging with, he ignored it, right? One of the things was they got data to show that they should not be putting filters on the internet. You know them filters that make you look more beautiful. Image stuff. They were saying that stuff was causing problems in young ladies and their self-image and all of that. And mental health, now they need counseling. They want to look better. I'm too fat. I'm too skinny. And our society is sort of just allowing, it's free reign. It's like non-censorship and everywhere, everything. And sex is just the thing now that, in addition to now weed being legal, something like that, it's just okay. You're actually a dinosaur if you don't think that it's okay for them to not be absent.
And all that's about is the money. That's all that boils down to, is all the money that it makes. Yeah. And so they don't care. That's all. Yes, that's all their concern is in this capitalistic society, is that it produces revenue.
Let's talk about and back to your point, the predictors of poverty, right?
Yeah,
keeping you in that level thing. And I kept it simple a lot of times because you talk about your moral compass, which is the number one thing, your value system. Then I would say simple stuff to my kids like accountability, responsibility, right? Cause and effect. So if I got to remind you to brush your teeth, you ain't ready. If you got a pet and you can't feed your pet, you're not ready.
You know what I'm saying? That's great.
If I got to remind you to whatever these basic, simple daily things in life, you are not ready. So you cannot handle this. And it can ruin your life. It can stunt your life. Not saying that your life is over, but it can be greatly stunted and has long-term effects.
Yeah.
Not to mention not when you violate, but when you engage in stuff for trivial purposes like that, there is a karma involved. We all do believe that things come back on you, like, you know what I'm saying? So karma, and even if it come back in the form of your child, and you teach things like that, like the degenerate, it might not be you.
Right, it'll show up somewhere.
Let's go back to, let's say someone does do it young, have a child young, right? And rarely, but sometimes it still happens. Back in the days, teenage parents can get married and stay married 50 years. You know what I mean? That doesn't happen as often, but it can still happen.
Socially, this world has changed. So
Exactly. So, but what do you tell the young man or the young lady, and using your example, the bartender, who I slipped up? I could be 19 or 20, but I didn't get married.
Easy.
But I'm working and I'm trying my best, you know, and this is what's going on in the neighborhood, at the school, and the playground. And how do I battle that when I'm grinding and trying my best?
I have talked to young women who have, you know, I'm gonna be a virgin, I'm gonna be a virgin, I'm gonna be a virgin. And then they slip up. And once they do slip up, they like, oh well, I done did it. Oh well. And then they just continue to have sex. And the message is, good. That's just one. You ain't gotta, that wasn't the standard to the point where, okay, it's all or nothing. Okay, it's one. You don't have to keep doing it. You can stop now, again.
Mm-hmm.
And not continue to gauge in that behavior. You know, like, it's okay. You slipped up. That's not a something that's going to condemn you or anything like that. And sometimes because we set that standard, somebody can sleep with two people and think they the biggest whore going because they didn't meet the standard. And so we don't want that to be the issue either. You know, hey, you know, one, all right, fine. You can get back on your thing and start saying, you know what, I did that, but I'm still gonna continue to wait for my husband. You know,
okay,
or for a guy or a girl, it don't matter.
Real quick, if it's all right, you say one as in the person or what have you, right? But not a one time.
Yeah, I'm talking about one time.
But what if they're in the relationship with whomever they're in, you know, they're with, and that's why they continued, because it seems to be part of the relationship, or it would just seem odd or weird to then just cut it off or whatever the case, or if that wasn't discussed and agreed upon once it happened. You know what I mean?
I agree with you. All I'm saying is,
how can you come back from that?
Just don't let it become a slippery slope if you don't want it to be.
I think with you, in the case you saying, if they still in a relationship, they're not gonna be coming to him talking about, I wish I hadn't done it.
True.
Right.
True. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna still be doing it if you're still in it, probably.
Right. Yeah. But as far, so that's why I was just trying to separate.
The
one-time acts versus, you know, a different person or whatever the case.
Hey, listen. Speaking of the gender thing, right? We talking a lot, and it could come across, and it's actually interesting. It probably could come across that we focusing a whole lot on girls and females, right? About the, and we be saying boy, but I'm saying, like, in that case, in most cases, society will say, yeah, because you don't want that young man, and then, you know, you want to wait till you marry, you don't have no children, and we can clearly identify the impacts on the woman, right?
Yeah.
Like, because we say stuff like this, beyond the baby. We say stuff like this. Every time, like John said, that's your spirit and your soul you saying. Every time you give yourself to him and he leave, you losing a piece of your character. And then you going to somebody else that promised you and you losing a piece of your character. And then you realize that now sex is becoming a comfort to you. And sometimes you just engage in it for comfort reasons and you taken away from who you are because you really don't want to be that. And that's the other pain you're dealing with. We don't talk about that to boys. We say you don't want no babies.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
But what is that similar emotional impact on our soul, on our spirit for boys? And to me, what it does is, if we had that reckless attitude, not about abstinence, that's how we become toxic as men. And that's how men become desensitized to hurting our women. And you understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And being open to telling my son, yeah, go get it. You're supposed to conquer it all, son. Go sow your oats. Because we in our own pain, running from our own fact that we compromise ourselves. And we don't talk to our boys about that it can make you a less better man over time if you have this reckless attitude and give yourself away and make your seed dumping it all over the place and you don't give a hoot about it.
I actually did have that conversation with my boys, and I talked about pair bonding and having them understand that if you out there and
What
you got
call it again? What?
pair bonding.
Pair bonding.
Pair
All
bonding.
right, got you.
If
You saw me looking.
Talk about. Nah,
Yeah,
I want.
yeah,
I want
yeah.
to
Pair
I want people to look it up.
It inhibits your ability to bond with someone when you want to. And the reason it does that is because when you've had numerous experiences, you take bits and pieces of all of those experiences and you use those to compare it to the person you're with now. They are always going to fall short.
Absolutely.
They're always going to fall short because they don't do this, they don't do that, they don't do this, they don't do that. And so now I can't even bond with another person because I have all of these comparisons that I'm making when I'm trying to bond. And so that's an unintended consequence. You wonder why you can't find no woman,
Right.
you know, or none is suitable for you because you're unable to bond with them because you have all of these
chasing pieces of all these women.
You're chasing pieces of
Or
all
men.
the women,
Yeah.
exactly, or all the men,
yeah.
and that's why you're having difficulty. So, like, that's something that how you gonna know that when you 20 years old? Who gonna tell you that?
Right.
You know what I mean? Unless somebody, you know, comes along and say, "Hey, this is what can happen for you."
Yeah.
And this is an unintended consequence. You think, "Oh, I'm just killing it. I'm knocking them out the park." No.
Right.
You messing yourself up.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't even know.
I mean, I had a talk with my son a little bit about, you know, just and it wasn't one of those full going conversations. It probably was one time. He probably don't even remember. But you know, I had a talk with him about there's a lot that go on when you have sex with a young lady. It's emotional, and if you decide you want to move on or something like that, then there's a level of pressure that you're gonna be in you know, she's gonna be in pursuit of, and you don't even want to have to deal with that at this age. You know, it's really gonna be a big distraction to you and stuff. And a lot of the stuff I'm telling you, you know, if you do take place and do these things, then maybe later on you will really understand why I was saying all this.
And you talking about stuff like the you know, like it costs.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. For example, right?
Right.
Yeah, like, and I want
It's
you
the price you
to
gonna
be
have
the
to pay.
type of man to do it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
like that. Yeah.
I got a quick story I told she my cousin. I call her my niece. And she was young, beautiful young lady. And I didn't even ask if she was having sex or not. I knew she had a little boyfriend in high school or whatever, right? And at the time, this is when these bookshelf stereo systems had come out. Y'all remember those? Nice systems that sound like the speakers this big, but they were small.
Yeah.
Right.
And,
right.
you can slide the speakers off.
Yeah,
On the side,
And so her dad had given her one, and she had a nice little necklace or something else, right? And I would talk to her little boyfriend or whatever, right? And then I was talking to her one day about that. And then I said, well, how y'all doing? She was talking. I said, nice speaker, sister. That's a nice stereo. I said, would you give him that stereo? Your boyfriend? She was like, what? I said, would you give him that stereo? She said, nah. I said, well, would you give him that chain on your necklace? She was like, nah, why would I do that? And I said, so why would you give him your body?
Mm-hmm.
You know, do you value those things more than your body? Right?
Right.
And so, you know, I tried to plant that seed to let her
That was
think.
a hell of a seed you planted.
Yeah, of knowing your value and knowing how important your body is when you give it away to someone or you choose to. So fast forward, she married. She got 2 beautiful girls, you know. I don't know all her personal business,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But she's in a healthy relationship and she's a wonderful mother, you know, to this
Seems
day.
like she held out for a good man.
I'm just curious. Do you remember what her response was when
give
y'all
him
had that little exchange?
I remember her adamant being like, nah, I wouldn't give him that.
Yeah, she was
this, that,
serious
the other.
about that boombox
Yeah.
and that necklace.
And I just remember her being quiet and it kind of sinking in because I didn't need to say anything else after that.
You dirty.
Don't. When you
dirty.
teach like
Yeah.
that,
You
when
dirty.
drop
You
that-
done set her up.
Yeah.
She ain't see it coming.
And look, and then with her husband, she said, you know what? I ain't never bring him around because you was going to run him away. I said, well, if they was running away, they weren't no good for you no way.
That's
you
right.
know, because you
That's
going
right.
to grill him.
So what she knew inherently is that when she was engaged with
I can have
somebody,
some
he
standards.
not worthy.
Yeah.
Right.
He not gonna withstand the grilling of your presence. And so you clearly established that. In that moment, She knew, don't you bring nobody to me half stepping.
And back to him talking about that value. Go ahead, bro.
Oh no, and I'm gonna say this too about us men, right? And so we talk about we all have sons, and James has a daughter, right? Let's talk about sometimes we see a crazy video where something happened to a woman and men don't step up and protect her, right?
Right.
I'm like, man, what's wrong with society? We got to protect that woman. We got to protect that woman, even if it's a stranger, right? We got to treat women a certain way. And so we all agree, and it's obvious that we should physically protect our woman, right?
Right.
However, sometimes we unintentionally are not protecting them when we violating their spirit, their energy, their mental. You know what I mean? Even when they're giving themselves to us and they don't even know what they're doing.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so it's a challenge to us to be the bigger man and protect that space, you know, and not to go there. And so that's what we need to teach our
To
children
not
as
be
well.
a manipulator.
Boys.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Even if she's been manipulated, even if she has a past, you don't have to play into that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we got to protect their energy, their spirit, as well as their physical.
You know why what you said is important. What allows us to do that is when we have a certain level of humility. All right, because we all know that oftentimes when young men are engaged, I like to call it ego sex. You know, sometimes they don't even want to do it. They're just doing it because it feeds a certain component of their ego. And you really need to make sure you're raising responsible, humble young men to avoid all the stuff we're talking about, because many times you want to be able to, you know, when guys who are engaged in it, I slept with her. That ain't nothing but ego, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't nothing but ego.
Right.
Keeping score.
Yeah, keeping score. All these young boys, they young or girl, they know exactly how many people they've been with. Unless they done been with so many, they done lost count.
You know what?
You
man?
know, but like it's a bunch of ego sex taking place. And so you can deal with the sex talk indirectly by dealing with humility and confidence and building strong character. Then this don't even come up.
Yeah,
Right.
man. If you're able to teach your children on the power and beauty of what a woman is, right? When they if you can see, our problem is we not teaching, man. We just telling.
Right.
We ain't teaching. I'm telling you, but I ain't teaching you. Right? I'm giving you the fish, but I ain't teaching you the fish. I need you, if you want me to understand, if I want you to understand from where I'm teaching you from, I got to teach you what I know. And I got to say to you that God created his second self to produce everything we need in this world. And that you got a woman, and if you get the right one, he gave her, he's allowing her to fall in love with you so you can build and grow, and she can help you with that. And she can comfort you. So just wait though. Because if you do it too fast, it's just like the cocoon you were talking about in the previous episode. You messing it up.
Yep.
You cutting it, right? And you killing her ability to give you what God put in her to give you back. And then we as men, later on get married, we complaining.
Mm-hmm.
We're complaining about the women that our brothers messed up.
Mm-hmm.
And our uncles messed up. How about that?
Yeah.
And our grandfathers messed up.
Yeah.
And somebody complaining, truth be told, about the women we messed up.
That's a fact
You know
too.
what I mean?
Yes,
Um,
sir.
If you gonna, we
I'm
gonna
ain't
sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I ain't messing none up.
I'm sorry.
God not finished with me yet.
You got not finished with me yet. I'm sorry.
Yes,
And
sir.
the long-term
that's
goal,
real, though.
for real, is having healthy, productive family in our family unit. That is the long-term goal
Yeah.
for all of us.
Yeah.
And we just gotta, to me, in this sin-sick world, if we don't start embracing the beauty of living right, we're gonna be in more and more pain because we're not getting better as a society. We unraveling. And something gotta change that dynamic in our community. It's all right to be the geek, the nerd, the one that's standing up saying, I'm a virgin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if we care more. I love that so much because if we care more about, that's the whole point. I'm gonna have sex because they think I should have sex, or they gonna tease me,
Yeah.
or they gonna do this, and
that
I want to
make you
look
a
this
man.
way.
That make
That's
you,
the whole
yeah.
point, man. We got so many. They messed us up, and y'all know who I'm talking about. This society of of us chasing ideals of supremacist governance of a world is messing us up because we are imitating the worst habits of what we went through from our oppressors.
Mm.
You know,
Heavy.
Good place
That's a
to
good
drop
beat
it.
to him at the co-working facility in a downtown mall in Charlottesville, Virginia. It's the B2M crew. Talking to you about abstinence, and we all to a man, we're saying teach our children abstinence, right?
Yes, sir.
And if they weren't abstinent, they made a mistake, tell them you can start again. Every day, like you're right about that, because I challenge myself on that in certain areas of my life, right? Like if I have a bad day eating, I'm trying to lose weight. Then we just go 3 weeks.
Yeah, right.
You had one bad day.
So
right?
starting again ain't getting the next woman or the next man.
Starting again?
Yeah. If you say you preach abstinence.
The journey of abstinence, right. Mm-hmm.
But if you don't, starting
again is I'm gonna wait.
Right. But some of the attitudes are, it ain't the right man, I'm gonna get another man. It ain't the right woman, I'm gonna get another woman.
Oh yeah.
And then the cycle continues.
I'm what did you call it? The comparison? What you talking
about? The pairing, the what?
Pair bonding.
Pair bonding.
It inhibits your ability to pair bond.
Right.
You know, and it's damaged.
Yeah.
And you got some real issues.
Just say no, don't do it.
Hey, we love and we want love to be the best love it could possibly be.
Yes,
not a fragmented portion of your love. Say that as best you can.
Take us out of here, Joaquin.
In the words of the great Frederick Douglass, it is easier to raise strong children than to repair broken men. Good night.
Peace.
Yo.
And I won't stop until I'm winning. I'ma show them how true and independent get it. Whole game changed by the time I'm finished with it. We about to get this business handled in a minute. And I won't stop until I'm winning. They don't want me in the office cause I tell